Let me clear my throat. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, hey, have mercy, Michael. I hope you don't mind. Hey, let me clear my. You know what? I like this Morel. You need to come and be guess something more. She had the background. She had a little snaps in there. Listen, okay, whiners, we're back, and we're all in one space. I'm hella excited.
I know, right?
I'm so
Definitely no more
excited.
trying to, do it through the phone and all that, getting all that set up. You can do it in purpose, like in person, like old times.
I know it's nice to look at you.
Okay, thank you.
It's nice to do other things too, but
Is that the energy you had about an hour ago? But okay.
because he be getting on my nerves. Y'all know how this goes. But like, this is the first time we're doing this, so you want to introduce our guest, Michael? Like, this is our first guest ever.
I feel so honored.
I'm so excited.
So from the cold streets of Ohio. Today we got a very, very special guest. We have Morel Adams.
Yay!
Thank y'all so much for having me.
Yay! We're happy that you're here.
Yeah, so you're our first guest, so you always gonna have a special place in our hearts and in the Wine Night podcast.
I'm
So
going down in wine night history.
definitely going
Ain't
history.
it though? Hella excited about it. First of all, Morel is a founding father of the wine night in general, like the name and everything.
That's
If it
the
wasn't for
original wine
Morel,
night.
we actually would not have like all gotten together. We wouldn't have talked about
It
black
actually makes sense
things.
here first.
Yes,
Makes sense.
it does
It makes
actually.
a lot of sense,
Wow,
yes.
because Morel came up to me and was like, we need to get together. And that was it. It was Murder, She Wrote after that.
I
So,
said, I'll go get the big bottle of wine. Y'all can come to my apartment, but we need to unpack all of this.
listen,
Actually, since you were like the person that thought of it, like talk a little bit about like what made you come to that thought, like realize okay, we need this and this is how it should come to be. You know?
I think what it was for me was I know I was struggling, and I was like, I just need some support, but where can I find support? And I knew that there were other black women in this program and attending in the same program as me and working in the same position. And I'm like, if I can turn to anybody, I know that it would be my sisters and my brothers.
and that was a fact and a half.
Yes, and so I was like, I had enough. I was like, look, y'all are coming over. I know we don't
Mind
know
you,
each
it
other.
was
this
it wasn't
well.
even that long.
It had to have been like a week and a half, and she was like, I'm done. I'm finished. We're having a wine night. And it was funny because I feel like we didn't really like name it wine night, but it was like around other people. We
Drinking
didn't know
wine.
if
Yeah.
we could trust yet. We would be like, so you coming to wine night, right? And I was like, our little code for, okay, so all the black people are coming, and we're going to be here, and we're going to, we're going to speak. We might say some things that's problematic, but we're trying to learn in this space where, like, we're not going to be exonerated for not knowing something. So,
Exactly.
like, the bravery that you took to come up to us and make us.
Because you never really know.
Yeah.
Like, all skin folk ain't kin folks. You never really know.
That's a fact, yeah.
And you know, Nia was trying to put me through the test.
Listen, first of all, first time I met Morel,
Like she was a
and we all
returner.
listen.
Hey, she was one of the old heads
You
here.
see, because we were all the first year black people were sitting together, and Morel must have thought, oh, these people don't have enough crayons and they don't have enough food. Because I'm going where there's food and there's crayons because I ain't sitting through the session without either one of them. And Shorty got up from the
I got
table
up.
and left.
I left. Yeah.
And I really sat there and stared at her and I said, oh, she ain't black. Can't be. Who would want to go sit over there with no other black people? You know, it's only 3 of us.
I needed snacks and I needed to color. That's
And we
how I was
even
gonna make it
have,
through that session.
listen, now all the time in my house, I got snacks from Morel and I got 2 coloring books just for her.
That's love.
Just for her.
That's love.
Let me ask you this too. So I remember when you came to visit, I was one of the people you had a conversation with, and like I told you, I was like, it's a great place to be, but it's gonna be hard, right? And for you, like, and I always knew, it's like, oh, it's gonna be hard for her because you come from HBCU, and this is completely different. And it's not like you're going to school here, but it's gonna be first time you're gonna be going to school and working like a real job that takes a lot of your time. So like, talk a little bit about like. You signed up for something and you always feel like you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, but when you actually experienced it in that first month and everything like that, what was that? Because I know for me, I think within my first week, I cried myself to sleep. You know what I mean? So for you, we'll talk a little bit about that.
I'm glad that you brought that up. When I first came, I was like, Mike just keeps talking about this place is, it's going to have its challenges. I'm like, Mike is crazy. What is he talking about? This
Ain't no challenges,
can't be
bitch.
that hard. I'm about to be done with undergrad. I've balanced 4 or 5 organizations, 3 jobs. I'm like, I'm going to come in and take this by storm. I don't know what Mike is talking about. And when I got here, I said, oh, Oh, Mike was not playing. This is what Mike was talking about. I don't remember when. I think it was actually my first day. I broke down and cried. I'm like,
see,
I'm in Kansas. It's my birthday.
Happens to everyone.
Oh, yes, that's right. You did come on your birthday.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, I don't know what I've gotten myself into. And it was during lunch, too. I think we got like an hour break, and I went and I just sat in my apartment and cried. I'm like, okay. But then, as a black woman, I'm like, I got to pull it together. I dried my tears. I dabbed on some more makeup, and I put a smile on, and I rolled with it. But I will say, being here, like, it's a uphill and downhill journey every day.
Yeah.
So.
You definitely like learn about like your strengths and weaknesses, and your weaknesses almost become your strengths, if that makes sense. Like,
you gotta build them up.
Yeah, like you don't have a choice, especially when you're like the few of like your kind, I guess you could say. Like, I'm hella black. I love black people. So when I got here, I was like, damn, can I trust y'all? I don't know. How much can I say? Will I get in trouble? Like, how can I be like my authentic self? And literally until we had that wine night and we all kind of like laughed ourselves to tears to a certain extent, did I feel like my authentic self in that space. So like you being somewhere where you're like the only one, you definitely have to like hone in on your strengths. Like you said, you cried and then you said, and I wouldn't have known. This is the first time I'm hearing this, so I wouldn't have known the wiser. I would have never known. But then at the same time, your weaknesses have to become your strengths too, because like it's a eat or be eaten world out here. Listen,
definitely.
And I'm always thankful for the lessons. Like, I know being here has been difficult, and I've learned so much about myself, about things I didn't know, and I'm grateful for that. But I always tell people, I said, if it wasn't for my friends, I would not be back here. In that degree, I would not be back here. So
they don't understand.
I feel you on that one.
Oh, my whole internship, I kept saying, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back. And they were like, really? Most people, like, they don't really care to go back to their school. And I said, oh, let me rephrase myself. I can't wait to see my friends. That's what I'm really here for, y'all. I ain't here for nothing else. I ain't here for nothing else.
When they say you really meet, like, your lifelong friends in school, they mean that. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, man, I'm stuck with them for life. I love them so much.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
At this point, like,
Yes,
we've
you
been
are.
through too much. Like, we've been through way too much.
I'm getting to the point where I'm a little nervous because, one, me and Michael have similar friends, so who's going to stand on his side, who's going to stand on my side? And then, two, my sides get a little long at this point, so I'm trying to figure out how we going to balance this out. So, me and Michael have tentatively come to the conclusion that we're not going to have a groom or a bride side.
Okay.
We just going to have a party.
A whole section.
A whole party. I mean, because what are we going to do? All of
that.
our friends are the same. And then some of his friends are, like, females. Like, and some of my friends are male. So it's like, what we going to do? Like, my brother, I love my brother. What he going to do? Stand on his side? No. So, fuck it. We done figured it out. We just going to have a party.
Change
A
the
wedding
game.
party. Yeah, for what? I don't know where they're going to stand, though. They're going to levitate.
Listen, I'm with you. I want to have a good time.
And that's, listen, hey, when Michael come to his senses and propose to me, y'all, it's an open bar for everybody. Congratulations.
Everybody gonna be staying your bike. Come on.
He's waiting for you.
Yeah. I keep
pressure,
telling my
no
friends, like, I'm ready
pressure.
for everybody to, like, get married just so I can dress up and go places and get drunk there.
That's
And
all I want.
And none of my friends want to have kids. None of them want to get married yet. And I'm just like, y'all so selfish. It's so
They keep
selfish.
asking me. I'm like, I want y'all to get married so I can come, be dressed up, and have a good time.
Well, I keep telling everybody I'm a size 8 right now, so y'all better give me while I'm cute. And I can suck my stomach in.
You heard her, Mike.
Listen, I'm just no. I meant y'all first,
Oh,
and then me.
us. No.
Oh yes, because mine is gonna be an event. You understand? Like with Michael and his high maintenance and my high maintenance, we can't get married at least for another
I'm not high
5-6
maintenance.
years.
I'm not high maintenance.
Sure.
That's what you have to tell yourself.
This man takes longer to get dressed than I do. That's high maintenance, and I have wigs, so I don't understand. There's makeup involved, and somehow he's still not dressed before I
I've
am.
waited for you for a few times, so I'm gonna have to
Listen,
pick her
you can have.
side.
You tell me. You can't tell me it's hard to pick between 3 fits. Tell me how.
I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, I got like all of them have to be that long. Like, I just don't.
it's
understand.
attention to detail, bro. The belt got to match the shoes, and the shoes might have to match the
High
bag, and the socks got to match.
I agree,
Nice.
but
It sounds
put
like
it together in your head and roll with it.
I be trying. I be thinking about my fits like the day before, and then the time comes, I be like, oh, but, and then I'll be like, oh shit, Nia.
The worst part of it is like when you like for me, I think is when I plan a fire ass outfit in my head. I mean, like I'm gonna kill him, and then I put it on. And I'm like, this not going how
The way
I
I
thought in my
thought. The way
head.
I
And then
thought.
it's 30 minutes before it's time to go. And now I'm like, well, my life is over. I'm not going.
Nah, the worst one is when you put on your fit and there's a hole in the shirt. Or there's a stain.
Oh, it's a stain.
And you just like,
or you
damn.
wore it and forgot to wash it. So now it
Yeah.
looks crazy.
And it's just
That
like,
has been my life here lately.
Listen.
I forget to wash something, and I'm like, oh.
And you be
man.
ready, like in your mind, you be like, I'm wearing that outfit, and that outfit has
Not
wing
really.
sauce all down
it
the
ain't like you
front.
go wash it in time. Like, you really just gotta just take
You
that
can't,
out.
and it's not even like you can dab it out. You know what I mean? Listen, all right.
That is the worst defeat.
It is. Oh shit, 10 minutes in, we ain't talk about nothing. All right, y'all, let's do it. So this week we're talking about, I was gonna say good old Kanye, but
Still Kanye. Still yeah.
it's not still. First of all, what the fuck is a yay? Second of all, not still good Kanye. I think we should all come to that conclusion.
Okay.
However, because Morel went to HBCU and me and Michael went to PWI, we have two different feelings about, or three different feelings. I'm not sure exactly where y'all stand on this. I know where I stand, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But basically, like, everything that's going on, I, as a Christian, I'm not feeling it. You know, he's doing this thing called Sunday Service. Basically, he's taking a bunch of different songs and he's remixing them together, some secular, some Christian. And he's basically having like a gospel concert. I guess you could call it gospel. I don't know, because I don't know exactly what they're saying there. But there's no sermon. There's no, real congregation-y like things happening at his Sunday service. People basically are going to hear these remixes of whatever, and then from what I've heard, they leave. Recently, he went to Howard University, and he had a Sunday service, and I know he made some remarks about the Republican Party and how they freed the slaves. However, he did not mention how there was a party switch closely after that, and how, old
The Republicans
are now Democrats, and Democrats are now the old or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things going on. He sells merch. Most of this merch is upward of $100 plus for socks, for shirts, for whatever. I know just recently he went to Jamaica and he had the Jamaican flag and then like his merch, like, God is love or whatever the fuck he puts on it. And, he's been selling that and things of that nature along with his Sunday service. So before I jump into how I feel about it, because if I haven't made it apparent through my little spiel, I would love for y'all to jump in. Please tell me how you're feeling. How are we feeling about Kanye? How are we feeling about the whole God is King, Jesus Love, whatever album it is that hasn't come out, but they're supposed to 7 different times this month?
You mind if I go first?
Yes, take it away.
All right. So, for backstory, I've never been a person that's like, oh, Kanye's changed, that we need to cancel Kanye, none of that. Because I don't think he's changed. He's always been this person. He's always been egotistical. He's always been very flamboyant, very gaudy. If he can make something huge, he will make it huge. Like, that's just what he's always done. If you go back to college dropout days, like, he was arrogant. If you listen to the songs, he thought he was just as good as Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And there's never been a time when Kanye was not like this. He just showed it in different ways. So when people start to talk about like the meltdown with Amber, or
that was a wild time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or like him quote unquote ranting, around the time of like Yeezus and all that type of stuff. He was always like that. He's always said these things. He's always, you know what I mean? The thing with Taylor Swift. If you've been following Kanye, he's been that person. The same person that
I did not tell him to turn that phone off for real.
You
Did not tell him to turn it.
told him
And
to
every
turn
single
that
time
phone
we
off.
record, every single time. And then the people come at me like, I'm crazy.
No.
I'm crazy.
Nia told him
nobody
to turn
would
that
have
phone
heard
off.
that phone if you didn't
But
say
I heard the phone.
that. And now we're stopping
And I'm
the
not
podcast.
editing it
You
out.
stop.
I'm not
Then
editing
you
it
ain't get
out.
invited on here to be All right. But now for real, so Kanye with same person that went up on stage and told Taylor Swift that, this award belongs to Beyonce, is the same person that said George Bush doesn't care about black people. So you can't get upset when it's just a point that you don't believe in. With that being said, now, right, as far as what he's doing with like the Sunday service and all that, who am I to tell someone else how to worship God? I mean, you talking about like this don't sound like church. We've gone to church in jeans. You ask old Sister Hattie about that, she'll tell you that you ain't going to church, turn around.
See,
So,
I guess what my issue is like, if you want to worship God, that's fine. I guess what it is I don't trust Kanye. Like, to be completely honest, like his antics within the last, like, let's say 3 or 4 years have been harmful to so many different groups of people, and his rhetoric is just not correct in any sense, and that's the part that like bothers me. So now he's on this like godly journey, quote unquote, and I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's because of clicks. I don't know if it's because, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I don't play about my God. I don't know how everybody else feels, but that's one thing I don't play with. And I think there's a stark difference between, you know, wearing jeans to church or being somebody who's secular but also a Christian versus like you're selling $200 Jesus is love sweaters. That just makes no sense to me. You know
what's
what I'm
wrong
saying?
with
Like,
that?
my thing is, the prophet, I feel like it's for himself, right? Versus like you're saying you want to start a church. Like he would be the equivalent of a pastor who's trying to get a Rolls Royce and he's asking the congregation to give more in order to be closer to Jesus.
So pastors shouldn't be paid.
That's not what I said. What I said was to me, selling merch for $200 socks. That's a wild thing. Like there's no, what's in these socks? There must be silkworms literally knitting it as he's doing the Sunday service. Like, tell me exactly like what's going on. I just don't believe personally. I don't. Kanye has always been very erratic. Yes, you're right. I have never really agreed with every single time he's been erratic, but the erratic part is not what is my issue. My thing is that he's harmful to so many groups because you say you don't want us to be slaves and then you support somebody like Donald Trump, which is the epitome of like modern day slavery at this point, because everything that Donald Trump has done has been to dismantle and break apart, you know, like marginalized people and families, put them in jail, deport them. Let's talk about the queer community. Like, I mean, this man, the attack on women's bodies, literally, you could go down the list and Donald Trump has hit them. And you're telling me that I should liberate my mind and follow him simply because most black people are Democrats? I don't think so. And then you try to spit to me, Jesus is love? I don't think so. I'm not feeling the love. I'm feeling like it's very rehearsed. And I've also heard some people say that, you know, he's just not saying it correctly. That man is rich as fuck. Like, you should be able to hire somebody to help you say things correctly at this point. So I also feel like that's an excuse. I just feel like it's all bullshit. And I don't like playing with, I don't like pastors who do it. I'm damn sure not going to like you doing it. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like if you want to put on a concert and you want to remix it with gospel, do that. And say what it is. Don't say it's a church, and don't say you bring people closer to God, and then you turn around and spewing this bullshit at Howard University and shit.
And that's why I like what you said about how can we control how Kanye worships. When he was doing it in his safe space of his home, that was fine to me because that was how he worshiped. Yeah. He was doing it at home. He was inviting his family, you know, and he was creating music. He realized that people were enjoying it, and he decided to profit off of it. That's my problem with the entire situation because, again, I don't really trust Kanye preaching any word or singing any word. But if he's doing it for his own benefit, that's fine. But like my question was going to be, what does he do with the money for the merchandise that he sells?
Right. Do you give it back to the church?
Are you giving it back to people in need?
Charity?
Like, charity? Anything. Because I feel like he's making this album. He's going to these different places, trying to get the black community on his side. And I feel like that's why he went to Howard. The mecca of HBCUs.
You didn't go to Cheney. You didn't go to Jackson
There's
State.
1,000 different HBCUs, and you
anytime people
definitely
go to Howard,
went
I
there.
suck my teeth because I for the most part, I know why you're going there.
Exactly, because it's the Mecca. Everyone looks to Howard. Everyone knows Howard. Why didn't he decide to go to a smaller HBCU that is in need of financial support? I didn't agree with him going to any HBCU, but again, he was very strategic about picking Howard. And then, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he or did he not go on their homecoming weekend?
He did.
He went on their homecoming weekend.
Did.
He was very strategic.
It's just not like pure intention, and I think that's what like bothers me about it. Like the whole Trump like slew of that whole 2 years or whatever it was going on. It just was not a pure like intent like the things that he was doing, and that's what really bothers me. Like, and I feel weird because a lot of people are like, I'm still gonna listen to this music. I can't listen to this music because they're like, Snoop Dogg made a gospel album. I will play that gospel album, and regardless, right? And I'm sure Snoop has. I mean, he wasn't convicted, but we know what he was. We know what he was charged with. Let's just put it out there. If Jay-Z turned around right now and said, I'm gonna make a gospel album, I believe that. Like, stabbed at somebody and all, and I believe it, and I will listen to this album. But I personally can't get on board with something that I feel like is for profit off of my people, and then you're going to turn around and tell my people that they're ignorant for following a status quo that's correct. Like, in my opinion, right? Like, if I had to choose the lesser demon, obviously I'm going to go with the Democratic Party because they're going to look out, for what they stand for, they're going to look out for certain things, and they're not going to let certain things happen versus what the Republicans are standing for right now. And I just can't. And you telling me that I'm ignorant for, quote-unquote, following the status quo because I want women to be able to have an abortion whenever she fucking feels like it. I want LGBTQ communities to be able to, like, adopt babies and fucking just be together. I want people who don't look like me to be able to enter the country, like, and not everybody, since we let all the white people still come in from all those other countries. But however, if you're darker than a paper bag, not even, at this point, you gotta go. Like, I don't understand where he's at. And if you're saying God is love, that my God don't love like that. I'm sorry, like, his love is not conditional like that. If you're trying to really liberate the mind, then liberate all the minds, liberate every mind. Don't side with one side and then be like, that side is bad. But also I'm sorry, them socks are $200, y'all.
Okay, we gotta let the price go.
No, but it's real though. So you're telling me you're going to Howard and you selling? I'm sure you sold your merch. So you're going to these disenfranchised black people.
Don't do that because black people will be the first ones to go to.
But that's who you're exploiting.
To
but
Beyonce's
he's not
homecoming thing. That's not being exploited.
That's not exploited.
Okay, so what you're trying to tell me is when we go to concerts, we don't buy that stuff?
But what I'm saying is it's not an exploitation at the same time. Like Morel said, that shit was very strategical. That's very strategical. You know who your audience is. Like, if you go to a Travis Scott concert, it's a bunch of white people in there. Like, you're not exploiting a specific group.
So the assumption is that black people who are at an institution of higher learning cannot afford that. A private school. No, what I'm saying is, well, first of all, yeah, because a lot of them are really broke. You know how much it costs? First of all, it's a private school and an HBCU. They're charging out the ass at Howard because they have to. So if you're affording that.
But they already don't have it, and that's my thing. A lot of them are struggling already just to make sure they can go to the school. Like my cousin who goes to an HBCU, her family her parents are damn near rich, and they're like, I don't want to pay this much for school, and that shit is a lot. So like, can you imagine for somebody who doesn't come from an economically rich background?
It's not for you.
Sure. Also, I think it's an attack on them, but hey.
And when you go to a concert, you know that they're going to be selling, the album cover, the merchandise. He's traveling. They didn't invite him. He's traveling there, and then he's selling his merchandise on top of that. Like, no. Did he take that money and send it back to Howard? We all know that HBCUs need help. Did he do
so
that?
So they can embezzle the money? I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
No. They would never miss a chance to come at us. So I had to. They would never miss a chance to come at us.
That's
so I had
true.
To.
Going to a PWI, yeah.
They would never miss a chance.
They love coming at us like, I just stop saying it's a fake HBCU. Whatever, sis. Look, we built our community.
This be a whole other episode.
I know.
But
that's a fun episode.
So let me ask y'all this. So we're saying that we don't trust his intentions because of what he said before. Do y'all believe that it's possible that his heart is in the right place? He's just going about it the wrong way.
I'm really tired of hearing niggas say that. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I just want to know, what do y'all think?
I'm saying
I had no horse in the race. I'm just presenting it for the conversation, because we've never talked about it here.
That's true too.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
You believe his heart's not in the right place?
I think his heart is very self-centered. Yeah. So I think he might believe it's in the right place. I believe that Kanye.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think
place.
He believes it's in the right place?
Then sure.
Bro.
I don't.
Because there's a follow-up question.
Think his heart is in the right place.
Do you think he believes his heart is in the right place?
I think he does believe his heart is in the right place,
Okay.
but I don't believe his heart is in the right place.
Okay. Now, with that being said, can we hold somebody accountable if they think they're doing the right thing?
Yes,
we
Hitler.
all think we're doing the right thing.
Yes, Hitler.
Yes,
Yes.
because
So we judge people not on what their intentions are, but what actually comes out.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you have to. You literally have to. Because I think, I don't know, was I saying this to you or to Michael maybe? I was saying at some point you have to learn how to be around other people. You have to learn how to speak, right? Like, you have to learn how to be in society and be a functioning person that does not harm people. And he's rich, so maybe he feels like he doesn't have to do that because of where he's at in life. But I remember a Kanye who didn't think that way. And I remember a Kanye who really wanted to liberate people. I don't...
But he's trying to.
Yes, but my thing is, I do not think at this point Kanye 1 is too goddamn old. If we have to be held to certain standards because, maybe because we're poor and we have to follow the society's rules because we don't have enough money to just do whatever the fuck we want to do. If we have to, then I'm going to hold you to that same standard. That's civil, being with society, right? On top of that, there's a moral one. How many times are you going to spew hateful rhetoric and then think it's like supposed to be okay because you think you're right? Hitler also thought he was right. And he also killed millions and millions and millions of people. So I do have to hold you to, I'm sorry.
The reason why, go ahead, Ron.
Because I even think about our wine nights and how we say things and then we hold each other accountable. Like, okay, I hear you, Ann, but let me correct you and like help you think a little differently on why that is impactful or how can I help you think outside the box. So like we do it for each other. It should be
Somebody needs to be doing it.
Yeah, somebody needs to do it for him.
There's two things I want to say to that. Number one, to what you just said right now, he's at a place in his life now, I believe. And when I mean place, it's like, look who's around him. I don't think there's people around him who are going to cry.
That's bullshit.
No. His wife is Kim Kardashian, who is one of his best, Virgil Abloh. Who else? I forgot. It's all these like people who don't see the world the way we see it. So they're detached.
And that's also an excuse because there's
but
people
what I'm saying,
who are his friends like Charlamagne the God and they're still doing interviews and stuff like that with him. And that's the part that doesn't make any sense to me because you see people like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz went to college. You know better. Like and you're friends with this person.
But look where they're at in the world.
But
now.
it does not because you're spewing this shit through your microphone, right? And you giving me albums telling me I have to do A, B, and C and all this other stuff. And then you're going to sit there and allow Kanye to kind of just do certain things because he didn't say it right? No, fuck that. Check your friend. Check them multiple times. Check them in public because that's what I do with my friends. I do that with my family, no matter what the stakes are. Because harmful rhetoric is harmful rhetoric. And, like, you can't tell me maybe the money has corrupted all of their souls at this point and, like, nobody can see right or wrong. Bullshit. Give me one of their little kids, and then let's do the same thing that you're doing to them, and then see what happens.
This idea of what's right and wrong is subjective. Like I said, 3 of us in here could all believe in the liberation of black people and go about it 3 different ways. We've seen it through the civil rights movement. So, and that's why I was saying before, like, the thing about Kanye is like people say there's a new Kanye, but it's like, no, he still believes in the liberation of black people. He's just going about it a different way. So do we hold someone accountable for what they truly believe in, what they want, or how they go about it? Because if that's the case, then what does that mean for Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, what's his name, Dubois, like all these people who all wanted the same thing, but went about it different ways?
I would encourage
and they all said harmful things. If you go back, they've all said and done harmful things.
Sure. And I would also encourage you to think about, at the same time, they may have said some harmful things, but my man is continuously doing it. And if you look at any of those people that you named, to a certain extent, it was still at the liberation of black people. Kanye is not at the liberation of black people. He is at the liberation of himself. And that is what I have a problem with. And he's masking it as a liberation of black people. And I just do not.
See, that contradicts what you said before. So I asked you, do you think, so I'll ask you again, do you, at the bottom of it all, do you believe that he thinks he's doing the right thing, or is this fake?
No, but I'm saying I think it is, but I think he's like it's. You know how you do things subconsciously. So you say something outwardly, but you're not really admitting inwardly what it really is. And I think that's what it is. Okay. It's masked as black liberation, and it's really for Kanye. Like I feel like his heart is really a little bit more selfish than it is you know what I mean, for the actual liberation of black people. Because if that was the case, some of this bullshit that you're doing, in my opinion, just wouldn't happen. He wouldn't do it because you know it's not right. And my thing, especially for people who come from these places, how do you get to this point and you're so removed? I mean, so removed. It doesn't make...
You're
it
not
makes,
you're not
no, it
connected
doesn't,
to
no, it doesn't
to
make...
where you're from.
You said what happened?
You're not as connected to where you're from as where you are now. You are a different person.
I am a different person, but I also, like, my roots are there. And I do not portray, or not portray, I do not betray, like, where I've come from.
Mm-hmm.
I always root back. The reason why I'm doing something is so I can go back and pull people back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my thing. He hasn't, especially with the family that he's in. All the stuff that they do is for their self-image and their self-worth. Like, Kim Kardashian freeing all these black people. Great that you're getting them out of jail. Also, I think you're doing it because your husband is wilding, and that you got to do something to make y'all look like in a better light. Because if that was your plight, where the fuck have you been for so long? Why is this just now happening?
That's not fair.
What else have you been doing? No, it is fair. It really is fair to
when
like
are you
look at
supposed
people.
to start to learn to be like? At what point do you? I mean, I can tell you right now. When did you start? Like, both of y'all. When did you start understanding the plight of queer people, and realizing, okay, this is the group that
High
needs
school.
help? Bro.
Undergrad. I would say undergrad, yeah.
And then I could ask you, well, what took you so long? That's not fair. You get there when you get there.
For people who have been with so many black people, that's why I'm like, for so long before that has started,
I've been around.
before it's been your passion, before you had enough like to do those things, that's where I'm coming from. Kim Kardashian has dated plenty of black men. There has been plenty of black men throughout that whole family. And now you're just now starting to do this. And then look at who you're doing it with. So now you're doing it with Trump. What happened? What was wrong with Obama? You met him. I know you have. What do you see the difference? Like, Obama says he doesn't really care for Kanye. Oh my God, now Kanye's on this tangent, this rant. Kim Kardashian is saying, regardless of what my husband's saying, I'm going to work with Trump to get these people out of office. When was that? When Obama said he didn't really care for Kanye? Why wasn't it, regardless of how you feel, I'm going to get these people out of jail, out of prison? That's what I'm saying. Like, I just can't trust the actions. Like, that you're doing it, cool. Those black people do not deserve to be there. And by any means necessary, if that means that white lady has to go do it, get them out then. However, do I trust you? Hell no. Am I going to your Sunday service? No. Hell no. Am I listening to that album or buying it? Well, first of all, I ain't even streaming it versus buying it. I can't. Physically, I can't. I can't.
And I was going to ask you also, are you going to stream or listen to the album?
Fuck no.
Yeah. I mean, but for me, I've never been a person that's like canceled someone.
I'm not canceling him. I'm just not supporting him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I won't not support someone, whatever word you want to use.
That's nice.
But like, so like, unless it was R. Kelly, because I was, the content's actually about young girls, so that's a little weird to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But like
a little,
just a tad. But with this, it's just like I'm gonna hear what he's got to say. I'm gonna listen to it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go from there.
So at what point do you say like, this is too much?
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing is you're making too much noise doing that.
If in the music he's going around saying harmful things to black people or queer people, whoever the case may be.
So he can say the harmful things as long as it's not in the music. I'm asking you because you're gonna stream it. I'm not streaming it.
No, I'm thinking. I want to make sure I give you a good answer. Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like, who do you like? Is everybody you listen to? Do you 100% agree with everything they do?
No, but also they're not out here being like extremely harmful either.
Yes,
obviously every human being is gonna do something bad. Yes, but at the same time, when do we hold him accountable? When as black people do we hold him accountable?
My thing is, why am I picking one person?
Because this one person is doing way more damage than someone else. If it's not Kanye, it's somebody else. Like, we're gonna, like, I just don't understand why once they get to a certain status, we cannot hold these people accountable.
No, I'm saying you can, but what I'm saying is just like, why are we picking this one person when everybody should be boycotted? If we're gonna say that if you do A, B, and something, then we're going to not support your content that you put out. Then with that being said, we shouldn't be wearing Nikes. We should be wearing H&M. We should we should be eating at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. Like it spans so many things. So it always goes back to
when you think of something like that, though, you're not. That means you hold no one accountable. So then we just let people just out here doing whatever that sits comfortable with you simply because everybody's a little problematic. Like,
I'm just saying I don't like when people say, "Oh, you could still listen to that person." I'm like, you could still eat Chick-fil-A. Like that's my thing. It's like, don't get upset at people that don't choose to go that route.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, you want to stream it, fine, but when do you hold him accountable? So he's able to spew this shit as long as it's not in the music. As long as it makes you feel good in the music, he's fine to just keep going. Because what I'm not seeing is people holding him accountable outside of it and streaming his music. I'm seeing people not holding him accountable and streaming his. You see what I'm saying? So like,
or doing more talking and not doing anything to back up that.
Yeah,
talk.
still
No
going
action,
going to Wyoming. Still, like, I was really disappointed when I saw people like you said, still saw like people like 2 Chainz, like all these people like Chance the Rapper, like all these people like Kid Cudi. Like at some point, you just gotta say, yo, my man's is wilding. That's my man. You can say
my friend has bugged out,
bugging out. You can do that,
and I don't support what he's saying or what he's doing.
And that's why I say they're at a different place now, where they're if someone like Chance the Rapper, who presents themselves as this person with this moral compass, who's changing their life and doing all this stuff, and you can still not say that this person is outright wrong, or 2 Chainz or T.I., whoever the case may be, I can't trust any of you because your political ties are just too tight. They're too. Because what is it that's keeping you from saying that this person's wrong? It's got to be something political. It's got to be something monetary. So then, can I trust Chance the Rapper's music?
Probably not. Maybe.
But I'm gonna still bump it though, because it's good content, and that's what matters. These people provide a service to me. That's it.
Yeah, and then I think that at the same time that if they provide a service, I have the right to cancel my subscription.
You right.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Please,
that's exactly what I'm going to do because I'm over it. I really, really am.
Listen, if I could think of a way to hit them, believe me, I would.
But you can by streaming and listening.
Yeah, but
it's just one person. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm conflicted too because
I'm not about to cancel everyone.
Yeah.
Or not support everyone, whichever way you want to use.
Everybody's gonna be a little bit problematic, is what I'm gonna say. Like I am problematic, and I'm sure in 1,000 different ways.
Really?
Shut up.
I didn't know. I thought black women were immune. I didn't think I could do anything wrong.
Anywho, I'm sure we're all a little problematic. So like, I guess for me, it's like once you hit a certain point, I'm like, okay, now we're having an issue. Like, I haven't heard Kanye even apologize, which is like probably like the first step you should probably do when
he don't
he's
apologize.
not going to apologize either.
And which is why I can't stream it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't support because I know you're not sorry. I can't support because I can't trust this. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has done problematic shit, and people will continue to make mistakes and do problematic things. However, there are some people who really are repentant. There are some people who are really ignorant. There are some people who really try to move forward and make, and do better things. And he is just not one of those people. So therefore, I personally just can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's a no for me. I have to be mindful of what I put and allow into my spirit and my body. And it's just not sitting right with me. So I don't think I will stream his album. It's a no.
Let me ask y'all this, if y'all don't mind. We're still going to talk about Kanye, but I want to ask y'all this. What created this?
Created what?
This monster that we have now, Kanye.
I don't know.
I you know what I think about? Because you talked about apologies. I was like, well, who's ever apologized to Kanye? Did you think like no? But here's what I'm saying. Like no. Here's what I'm saying.
The face Morel just made.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Kanye does not need to help. Everybody, please understand that Kanye's bugging. I believe Kanye is bugging. However, the times when Kanye has said that he's been hurt,
right?
There's something someone said bothered him. Something someone did bothered him. No one's ever apologized to him. No one's ever said, nah, we were wrong. Kanye, you were right about the clothing thing. Kanye, you were right about... This never happened. It's never been modeled to him.
But it was never us that
Obama called him a jackass on national TV.
Because he actually is a jackass.
Okay, but do you need to call him a jackass on national TV?
Sure, probably not. But Kanye also has ran up on TV and snatched a reward out somebody's hand saying it belonged to someone else.
But that's the only time people listen to him.
Wait, no, it's not the only time. And that's the part that really pisses me off about Kanye, because Kanye is always the victim. And I'm tired of that, because Kanye is not for every single situation the victim. Like you said, the clothing thing, like we can go back and forth about that. However, that wasn't us that told him he can't get in. Those are white people.
No. What I'm saying is when he was trying to explain to them why it can't work, people were saying he was bugging, and then we realized, oh shit, no, he was right. That's what I'm talking
First
about.
of all, we can agree to disagree for that part, but we weren't the ones who hurt Kanye, and yet this rhetoric is what's hurting us, not the other group. So that's another big issue I have. The shit you're saying doesn't hurt the other group. That's the one who didn't fucking support you, because we've been spending the money. We've been showing up for you. We've been championing you.
But when he really
thing,
needed y'all, he didn't. Y'all didn't.
That's bullshit. We have been with him all the way up into this Trump thing, and for you to say that...
That's not true.
That's bullshit.
Not with the clothing thing.
Because
you know
it
what we're
costs
talking about?
$500 for a sweatshirt that looks like a homeless man
And he tried to explain
to
you why.
Sorry, sir. The clothes are ugly. Let's start there.
That's a false. That's false.
Hey, for
no,
you,
clothing. No. What I'm saying is, you're
sure.
saying it's ugly, but it's selling.
Sure.
So how ugly is it?
Okay, for me, it's ugly, and I'm not buying it because it's ugly, not because it's you. There's difference, and on top of that, I can't buy a $500 white T-shirt when there's a Hanes one down the street at Walmart that I can pay for. No. You asked me a question, and I'm going.
You've been cutting me off. So you've been cutting me off.
I'm gonna give you the
shit.
No, because what I really, really, really hate, especially when it comes to black women and Kanye, because a lot of people are saying all the black women in his life are responsible for him, and that's bullshit, right? From his mother to Amber Rose to all the other black women. I remember his first girlfriend he came out with. This is way back when. None of those women are responsible for this man acting like a goddamn fool. However, we are the ones as black people who are always the ones that get chartered with but we didn't support him. Bullshit. Every single time he ran up and did a rant, we were there. Every single time Kanye said, woe is me, we were there. Every album sale, every concert. So it's I want to say it's bullshit. The time people started really wilding out, the beginning part of it was when he was charging $500 for these ugly ass clothes. Excuse me, that's my perspective. But it was very high price for people you are claiming that it's for. So you said it was for the low marginalized people, and then you're charging $600 for a belt. I can't spin that if you're saying it's for me. And then you get up there and you're talking about Trump shit. That's when people started to lose their minds. So don't put that bullshit on us. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. That's not our fault.
I'm going to give you two things. Number one, we're talking about the price, right? When Nipsey was charging $200 for his, rest in peace, Nipsey, when he was charging $200 for his mixtape and his merch and all that type of stuff, right? Nobody ever called Nipsey crazy. Everything, like, we look back in retrospect, like, yo, he was a businessman. He knew what he was doing. For $200 for music, he wasn't even like a platinum artist, nothing like that. He was just charging a lot because he believed in himself, right? Nobody said anything. Kanye comes around, and that's what I start to say. Remember what I used to say this to you about Kanye? I was like, a lot of times we don't judge people for the actions, but we just have this. Sometimes we just have like this beef with this person, and we just gonna, no matter what they do, they're wrong. The thing about the clothing, I'm just gonna say one more thing, bro. The thing about the clothing is, when I say that we didn't support him, I'm not saying that you had to buy the clothes. At the end of the day, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. What I'm talking about is when he was saying that he's being kept out of the fashion industry, and this is why he's upset. And he will go on all these talk shows and complain about it. Everybody say, oh, Kanye, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Kanye, you just complaining. You just chatting. That's the support I was talking about. But people making him feel like he's crazy when he's actually experiencing racism.
But also look at the things that Kanye was also saying around that time. Kanye also said around the time that I remember this because I remember looking at it and saying, what the fuck? He said around the time his clothing album stuff was coming out and how people were keeping him out of the industry, that racism didn't exist anymore. And he said something like that on his talk show, and he was talking about his wife and something of that nature and shit like that. People were getting outraged because of what this man was doing and what he was claiming this shit was for, and it wasn't really for us. And I think that's the reason why people get so frustrated with him, because he's always the victim. And people are tired of it. You cannot be the victim for every single thing, because that's abuse. That's mental abuse. And I mean, like, if you really think about it, you do something to me, I get mad, and then you tell me it's my fault. That's abuse. And that's basically what he's been doing for like the past 5 years. Abusing the shit out of us, slapping us, and then telling us God is love. I don't think so.
Rel, you were going to say something.
I had two things. I was going to say, I hear you, what you're saying about, someone apologizing, but I think it is deeper than that. I think Kanye needs help.
Oh, definitely.
I think he needs to work through some of, the things that he's experienced growing up and why he's not receiving the thanks and sitting with that, because a lot of times you're going to do things in life and you're not going to get a thank you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a congratulations, but you have to know that you did what you could do and move on from that. And I don't think he has moved on from that or has done the self work to really sit with that. So that was what I was going to say about that. And then I was going to say, so when Kanye, what was his first album?
College Dropout.
College Dropout. I was not like a Kanye West fan in high school and in elementary school. So when you said that we were holding Kanye West to the expectation of, you know, this great person or this person that makes great music, I would have to disagree because I was not a Kanye fan, nor was I riding the Kanye wave, and I didn't put that into perspective to who he is as a man, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you're saying you separated.
Yeah, I was able to separate it, but I'm still saying, even though I was able to separate, I'm still saying that he is a problem, and I'm able to see who he is, but I still disagree.
No, I'm listen. I do. There's no part of me that's like, yeah, Kanye's completely innocent. That there's no one that's ever innocent in anything. So yeah, Kanye shit. My hope is that at some point he understands like what he's doing wrong, and I think for him, it's got to be an acceptance of, okay, the world's not out to get you. I think for him, he had like a really bad spiral of events, and it just felt like the world was out to get him, and then that's where that kind of like woe is me complex and all that type of stuff. And I just hope there comes a point where he just realizes, okay, yes, there's bad things happening to me, but I have a part in it too. And just moving on from all that and just letting it go. Like, there's nothing you could do.
Kanye's like that one friend that's like you said, literally always, woe is me. Like, the world is always out to get me. And you're like, okay, but why did you cuss that girl out then? And they're like, oh, because of A, B, and C, D. And like, well, that's why she slapped you in the face, because you cussed her out. Like,
I think what we see in him is something that we see in us, is that we do a lot. Like, we remember when Kanye didn't get the Grammy? And he was, upset.
He was big, man.
Right? Remember when, before he became a rapper, nobody would sign him all the time as an artist. We saw we didn't get the clothing deal he wanted, the sneaker deal he wanted, like all these things. And Kanye's this person that like all he can see is what he doesn't have, and to us it's just like, oh, Kanye. And I think this is a great, and I think it's great. Like, I think the thing we could talk about this and kind of share with like our listeners is like really start to think about, okay, is focusing on what you do not have the reason why you're unhappy right now? Because for him, like, you have so much. Like, he had multiple families. You had multiple chances at families. You know how many people don't get that? Like, you ruin one family, and that's it for you. You ain't finding nobody else. You don't get a lot of people don't get remarried after 30, after 40 or something like that. And you had 3 chances, I think, because you had his girlfriend when he first came in. You had Amber. Now you got Kim.
And those are just the ones we knew about.
That's the ones we know about. Yeah. You had 3 chances at families. You know what I mean? Heralded as probably arguably the greatest artist ever. There's some people that would even say that. The greatest artist ever. You know what I mean? You've done amazing things with fashion, like all these things. No, but there are people that would say that, though. As I said, I didn't say it. I just said it's to the point where people would say that. You might be be the greatest musical artist ever. But all you can see is that Nike won't let you design the sneaker. And I know that's minimal to us, and I know it's huge for him, but it's at what point do you just say, you know what, that's not the most important part of life?
I feel like Kanye just like lives his life thinking that he deserves everything that just pops up in his head. You know what, I deserve a Nike deal. Sure.
And that goes back to his self-centeredness.
It does, you know, and it's just like, even, I don't know, you can even hear it in the music after a while. It was just kind of like, what are you saying? And what are you teaching people? Because this music is it does influence, you know, especially younger minds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, listen, Future was out here saying pills of Percocet, and everybody was like, well, we popping Percocets now. Like, I guess don't even know how to spell Percocet, but they out here, these little kids, you know what I mean? So it was like, at what point, like you said, it's like enough is enough. And I think people are just dead ass fed up with him. And he's always going to have his core fans, and you're going to have people who necessarily can separate the music with the person and all this other stuff. People are people. The work that I put out into the world is a reflection of me. So I can't, like Morel said, I can't put that in my ears and internalize that, knowing that what he's doing is harmful to people. I mean, like, literally harmful. Like, you're supporting a rhetoric that racists believe in. And what does that say about you? That doesn't mean that your mind is open. That just means that you're supporting people who you think are going to support you. That's how it comes off anyway. And I can't, I think he uses things until he can't use it anymore. Just recently, he had asked his wife to stop taking so many sexy pictures because it bothers him. And I remember thinking to myself, how the fuck does that make sense? Because you had her naked on the Bound bike. Remember that song, the Bound song? Yeah, I mean, every magazine cover was her ass out. And now you're saying that you're bothered because it's too sexy and you're his wife. She put out a whole book of her nudes, I believe, at one point. Does everybody remember that? I feel like nobody remembers.
Profit.
And
you know, and so she's like, well, just because you're on this journey doesn't mean I'm gonna be on this journey with you. And I can't believe
I'm still a hoe.
And I couldn't believe I was actually agreeing with Kim Kardashian. I said, God, what is the world coming to?
Can we talk about how he stormed away?
Wait, what?
He was like, okay, cool, all right, cool. You know how like
Wait, this is in person.
This is real. He like looked her in her face. This I guess was I seen a clip of her show, and so he's like, it just bothers me, you know, when you take pictures and you put them out in the world.
Keeping up with the Kardashians?
Yes,
he is.
Yes, he is.
Oh, it's not the same.
Obviously, that's what we've been. That's when we spent the last 50 minutes trying to
It's a new year.
Tell you.
That man is wildin'. And she really looked at him and was like, sir, it's a no for me. And he was like, okay, all right, cool, all right then. And then storms
out. I mean, I cried. I don't even watch the show, but when I watched that clip,
I don't either.
I said, okay, Kanye, you knew what you got yourself into.
Listen.
No sympathy
That's like when
and supported. She
and
was
that's
like,
when
you
you go back
supported
to
me, made me this sexy person, told me I should be out here doing these things. Like, you on the covers with Shorty. And she's like, so what are you talking about?
And that's when he go back to the block and all the fellas look at him like,
no, we told you.
We
Yeah,
told
we
you.
trying to tell you, bro. we told you. She was
you.
for the streets. We tried to tell you.
And even if she's not, like, you, like, kind of like what we were talking about in one of the other episodes, like, you knew what you was signing. That's something you clearly can see you signing up for.
Anybody can see what Kim was.
1,000 miles away, she was honing in her sexuality.
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Listen, and if you do, you better be be cool with her still being a hoe.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. My goodness.
Hey, listen, I just want to make it be known that I am not saying that Kanye is right. I'm not saying Kanye is wrong. I have no horse in the race. I feel like the way that I'm reflecting on this whole conversation, you kind of feel like, oh, Mike is going to be out here trying to say that Kanye's right. We don't need to be holding Kanye accountable. I just want to say.
We're definitely putting your face up on
I mean, like, the picture's going to be me, like, screen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a clip of me right
and
now.
I'm going to cut, like, all the stuff saying not. So it's going to be like, I support Kanye and everything he's doing.
Facts, so.
Damn. Okay. Well, I don't know where to go from here.
Nah,
this was a good rant.
This
I like
is a really
this.
good one. It's really good one.
Jeez, man. Wow. Okay. Well, Rarel, we want to thank you for coming, like, and whining with us. And
Definitely.
It's not whining.
If you got wine. Remember
so,
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So that's our
Pull
little
up.
slogan here. Thank y'all for listening. And please share, like, subscribe, all that jazz. So one day we can have money and shit be like Kanye or something. I don't know.
I was about to say, what you going to do when we get the bag, huh? What
I'm
you gonna
chilling.
do?
I'm giving it all away.
Oh, you giving it back to new up and coming podcasts? You're
Everybody.
not gonna profit?
Everything.
Full of shit. Turn
Yeah,
the
I am.
podcast
No.
You know what? I'm gonna do more for the hood than a lot of other people have done for the hood.
That's
How
what
about
everybody
that?
said when
Your
they was
homie
coming out.
Kanye.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That is not true. A lot of people got that bag and dipped. A lot of
Everybody
people
said,
got
"Oh,
that
I'm
bag.
gonna
An
get that."
educator. She'll do it.
Listen, y'all
I
think I'm
believe in
playing.
her.
This
I
woke
say,
life
y'all
is
so
not a
full of
joke.
shit. Turn the podcast.
No,
off.
don't turn it
Nah,
off.
yeah,
Turn
like,
it
he
off.
just mad
He just
because he
mad.
know when he get the
I'm
bag,
real.
he buying all
I'm
the
actually
shoes.
gonna be real. Like, I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay,
I'm
Mike.
getting my Gucci belt. The Percocets is
You
on
already
the
saw
way.
what kind of belt I'm trying to get. Like, it's don't give me the bag.
No, y'all got me fucked up. We out. You know what it is? I was about to be like 21 Savage. My man said we taking economic classes. We out here. Y'all gonna get this education. So even if I can't give it back monetary wise, we gonna get this learning off. They can't take your mind. They can take your body, but they can't take your mind. So listen. And on that note, bye y'all.
Thank y'all for having me. 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 Me.